So some ways that you can bring mindfulness into your life, I mean, the most obvious one is meditate. And we're going to do a really brief meditation exercise before we leave here. But again, for many people, they say, I don't have time to meditate, I don't know how to meditate. So there are plenty of other ways you can invite mindfulness into your life. One of the best ways to do it is to pay attention to one thing only and forget multitasking. And there are plenty of studies that show that when you multitask, you actually do worse across all tasks than if you would just spend 20 minutes and do that one task you need to do and make some progress or get it done. So paying attention to one thing only is one definite way to be more mindful. Spending time outside, spending time in nature, eating without distraction. When was the last time you ate without talking on the phone or watching TV or trying to do multiple things at the same time? Spending time in silence. One of the most valuable parts of the yoga practice in public classes is when you're done and people are just laying there in silence. And for many, many people, that can be a very profound shift from their constant daily lives of being overloaded with information all the time. For many people, it can be just driving home and spending that time in the car with nothing else on, or just finding some time to be by yourself with no other distractions. Finding a connection to something bigger than you, whether that's a religious affiliation or a spiritual one, or again, just being in nature, just feeling that there is something bigger than you that you have a connection to. And the last one has to do with being intentional about how you spend your time. And rather than kind of being swept up into all of what's happening around you and just kind of going with the flow, being specific about how you spend your time so that you know it's worth it for you to do. So a very famous philosopher, Krishnamurti, said the mind has to be empty to see clearly. And certainly for those of us, basically all of us, it's very, very hard to think of the mind being empty because it's constantly overloaded. The idea of meditation is what helps us kind of get to that point, and I'm sure you've all heard of Buddha. And this idea that meditation brings wisdom and helps us get out of ignorance. Meditation these days, I mean, even companies like Google have people on site that take employees through meditation exercises. It's been well documented in terms of its impact on stress, reducing stress, decreasing blood pressure, increasing the relaxation response instead of that constant fight or flight response that most of us feel, as well as positive changes in the brain, connectivity between brain regions. So there have been plenty of studies that show that it's a benefit, but yet sometimes people just feel that it's too big of a hill to climb to try. So I'm going to just take you through just not even a 5-minute, just really like a 2 or 3 minute exercise. And we're actually going to do it seated. So what I want you to do, similar to what you did when we had that standing exercise, is I want you to just come to the edge of your seat so that you're not sitting all the way down. And just take a peek down at your feet. Make sure your feet are hip-width apart. And then just place your hands, palms down on your knees. Okay? So now close your eyes and find that sense of you're really rooted into your seat and your head is perfectly centered over your shoulders. Okay? And then just take your shoulders and lift them up towards your ears. And then take the shoulders and drop them down the back and just let them relax. All right? And from here, take a big breath in through your nose. And a big breath out. So I want you to keep your eyes closed. And this is actually a good exercise because there is a little bit of background noise. But just shift your focus to your feet on the floor. And just feel your feet anchor your body. And then as you press further into the floor, just rooting the feet, shift your attention to your seat. Just literally the feeling of sitting up and just feeling that connection between your hips, your pelvis, and the seat itself. That feeling of being grounded, being steady. And as you move a little further down through your seat and through your feet, draw up through the crown of your head. Just imagining the length of your spine from your tailbone all the way up to the base of your neck. And then notice the position of your head in relationship to your shoulders. You can draw the shoulder blades in a little bit behind you there. And just note to yourself if this feels any different than how you spend most of your day in terms of just your posture, your sitting posture. And see if there's a little bit of almost muscle memory that you can tap into to try to seal a little bit of this into just your nervous system, just your physical body. And then notice the feeling of your hands touching your legs. That can be grounding as well. And then bring your attention to the center of your chest, right around your sternum, your breastbone. And take a couple of breaths and notice the rise and fall of your chest with a few rounds of just breath on your own, whatever the pace is. Deep breath in, and a long breath out. And then you can open this. So that's just a really, really brief exercise in meditation. And that kind of meditation is known as guided meditation. I mean, certainly there are plenty of apps. I think one of the companies down the street has one. And so there are many guides that you can use for that kind of thing. But I think by the same token, it's helpful to take you through it because that, on some level, is all it takes. And certainly, you know, we live in an age of technology when there are so many wearable devices. There's a device I saw the other day for posture. It will beep if your posture is not great. There's a device for breath. But, you know, on some level, we need to understand that we have access to all those tools, and we don't need all these external devices to cue us when we're off. But many times it takes connecting to it as a baseline to then give us the confidence that we can proceed on our own. So I want to wrap up the conversation tonight with another way to invite mindfulness into your life. And this is one of my favorite books. It's called The Four Agreements, and it's by Don Miguel Ruiz. And Don Miguel Ruiz grew up in Mexico. And he was raised with what's known as Toltec wisdom, which is Aztec in culture. And he's written a couple different books that are quite popular. And his Four Agreements, even though this book was written many, many years ago, totally apply to today and our life today, just some guidelines we can use to invite more mindfulness into our life. So these Four Agreements, the first one is to be impeccable with your word, to speak with integrity, to speak with clarity, to only say what you mean. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. I mean, how hard is that, especially these days in a world of social media? But he suggested don't take anything personally. Nothing others say or do is because of you. It's really because of them. Don't make assumptions. This certainly holds both in business and personal life. Ask questions, ask for clarity until you feel you understand and you've had an opportunity to say what you really want. And the last one is to always do your best. Your best, he said, will change from day to day. So it doesn't mean you're always going to be 100%. But if you always do your best in relationship to what your best is that particular day, you can go home and go to bed and rest your head at night knowing that you did that. So to wrap up, I want to just leave you with this idea that, you know, we talk a lot about currency from a financial, monetary perspective. But energy really is your currency. We all have a finite amount of energy every day. And how we spend that energy is entirely up to us. So through movement and meditation, mindfulness, and healthy mind-body actions like good amounts of sleep and nutrition, we can maximize the amount of energy that we have and spend it wisely. I want to thank you for being here tonight. If you have any questions, I'll hang out a little bit and I'm glad to chat with you. All right, and please feel free to take a walk. All right, thank you very much.